The Sephora sale is already back, coming up on November 1st. Where did the time go, guys? I feel like we were just covering the spring Sephora sale, but nope, it is coming for November the 1st through the 11th. So today we're going to chat all about the sale, some tips and strategies, some things to think about, and what's on my wish list, and also things I think that I recommend for you guys that stand out. So if all of that interests you, stick around and we'll start diving in all about the Sephora sale. Welcome if you are new here. I am Cher, and on the channel we cover a lot of different beauty topics, lots of products that I review. I do a lot of beauty boxes here, but I am a Sephora girl through and through. I love my Sephora sale. This is one of my favorite sales of the year. So we're going to break up today's tips and just discussion of the sale into a couple different pieces. The first thing that I want to do is talk to you a little bit about the kind of just overall tips and a little bit about the sale, especially for those of you who are noobs here. The second topic we're going to talk about is sort of my tips, my recommendations, some of just my favorite products, but also certain areas where I think you can strategize and think about this is what you might want to use the Sephora sale for. And then our kind of third category is sort of my wish list, just sharing what I'm looking at and what I may be picking up. And I will put timestamps in the captions so you can skip to whatever sections interest you more. Okay, so let's get into it, and we will start off with that little intro about the sale in general, but a little bit overall of why this is my favorite sale. The sale starts on November 1st and it goes through the 11th. That's the overall sale. And what the Sephora sale is this one is one where it is a site-wide and store-wide discount. So it's not like other sales where there's only certain items that go on sale and get discounted. It's like just the overall discount for the entire store. So I will say that it's not always the deepest discount of all the sales out there, because the highest discount you're going to get on anything is 30%. However, it's because everything is discounted. So it's like everything on your wish list and everything you've had your eye on in beauty that they sell at Sephora, which is a lot of things, and a lot of the things I'm particularly interested in, I can tell you that, it's all discounted. And so you're just getting an overall savings. And so that is what is unique about it. So I tend to tell folks, like, for example, you know, the Ulta sale, you get heavier discounts on that one. And sometimes you might get heavier discounts going just to a particular brand too. But the benefit of this is you're getting free shipping with Sephora. Sephora, you get free shipping. So you might as well go ahead and stock up on everything together instead of having to try to figure out how to hit a minimum amount on like a specific retailer site. That's always what I run into. I'm one of those people, I could spend a few $100s, but then if I got to pay $6 in shipping, I'm like, nope, I'm canceling my order. I know it's weird thinking, but I just have this thing with free shipping. And so that's what's awesome about Sephora. You're going to get free shipping. On top of that, it is fast shipping. I have never seen other stores that I order from that are as fast as Sephora. I always love going through Sephora, and I usually choose Sephora over Ulta for that reason, is because they're so quick. They're quicker than Amazon these days. It used to be that Amazon promised us 2-day shipping. My Amazon orders don't show up in 2 days anymore. I have always had the best experience with Sephora shipping though. It comes fast. So here's how the discounts work and how they're broken down. You're going to have different categories, and it's a higher discount depending on how much you spend, basically. So your Rouge members are going to be $1,000 a year in spendings. And so us Rouge folks that spend a little too much, not gonna lie, we get a discount of 20%. Those who spend $350 a year are going to be VIB, and they're going to get a 15% discount. And then beauty insiders, which you don't really have to spend anything, but you do need to join as a Sephora member, basically. Really, it's just sign up for an app, you're in. You're going to get 10%. So that's kind of how it's broken down. But then anything on the Sephora collection, which are actual Sephora brand products, is 30%. Now, the 30% Sephora collection items are going to go on sale immediately on the 1st of November, as well as Rouge members. But then everybody else is waiting until the 5th to get started on the sale. So some benefits of being Rouge. And you can go ahead and start shopping anything in the Sephora collection ahead of time too. I'm going to kind of segue into my recommendations, but I'm first going to be kind of talking about my general overall strategies of where I think you should look and how it relates to the overall tips. And that is thinking about this particular sale that happens more in November as opposed to in the spring, thinking about the holidays. Like, this is such a great time for gift ideas. So specifically where I think that this sale is fabulous is looking at their advent calendars. We've recently been sharing a series of videos that I've had on my channel looking at different advent calendars out there. They're very big. And since I cover a lot of beauty boxes, this is something I've been wanting to cover with you guys. As we've been discussing these advent calendars, I want to let you know so many of these calendars are available at Sephora. If you were already looking at the advent calendars and this is so popular, why not wait until you can get discounts on them? Okay, so if you've already got your eye on one, you really want one, this is your chance to get it, 15% off if you're VIB. Or if you've never shopped at Sephora before or you don't have a membership, go ahead and grab the app and you're going to get 10% off of it. So 10% while it's on sale. In addition to the overall, different brands and their advent calendars, there's also Sephora's specific advent calendars. And they have specific gift sets that are already kind of curated and put together. And sometimes they have like discounts in there by going with these value sets as opposed to just on their own. And there are a lot of just very popular items out there you might be interested in or that make fantastic gifts to give somebody else. So this is such a great time to get those holiday sales. Having said that though, guys, keep in mind that there will still be a Black Friday sale and a Cyber Monday sale to follow. So I can't 100% officially tell you that yes, there is, and this is what it's going to look like. But in the past, like last year, you did have Black Friday and Cyber Day, and you had 20% off of your overall purchase as part of those deals. They also followed with a fragrance event all the way up until Christmas Eve. And that one was 20% off all full-size scents. So if you're a fragrance lover, be on the lookout for that one too. So keep in mind there could be more sales to follow this one. You may not have to be in a huge rush, but so you might still be able to grab some things on Black Friday. So it's basically going to be probably one big sale from November through the holidays and everything, right? But it's an exciting time of year. I do love to get these Sephora sale items while the sale's happening before things sell out, because things will sell out and it might not be available anymore at like Black Friday. So now that we've kind of talked about the overall sale, kind of how it works and your overall strategies and thinking, let's talk my recommendations, because I know sometimes if you're not like me, who's just a complete beauty, so keep in mind, I'm a beauty blogger, I'm a freelance makeup artist. Makeup and beauty is my thing. And if somebody gives me, a gift card to run wild in Sephora, I know exactly where all I want to spend it. But I think for your average person, like, you can get very overwhelmed and you don't even know where to start. And you're like, okay, what are your tips? What should I look at to take advantage of this sale? If I were to sit down and tell you all the products that I love and that I recommend at Sephora, we would be here for a very, very long time. This video would be hours long and you would lose interest fast. So I'm just going to kind of touch on like some of my top favorites. I do actually have a video out there already that I've done back in the spring, so I don't want to repeat myself too much. If you want to check that video out, I will link it here for you. And so this is a video that just runs through all of my timeless favorites and in each category. So what I did was I decided, okay, if I could pick one item in every category that was favorite that they sell at Sephora, what would it be? So you can check that out to kind of check some of my old like ride or die products in every category, like skincare and makeup and whatnot. But there's some things that I've tried since that video and things that I've loved over the last year here and the last like 6 months since the spring sale. So I don't want to leave those out. So I just figure I'm just going to kind of mention some things that stand out to me. But also we'll run through just a list of the advent calendars that are available at Sephora that you might want to check out. And before all of that, we're going to talk about where you find the absolute most savings of all, and that is in the Sephora Collection. This is actually where you will get the most discount, and I've talked about this in the past too. This is old tips and strategy for the folks who have been here. You've heard me tell you before, but this is for the noobs. Your biggest discounts, your big savings is going to be looking in the Sephora Collection. But are you willy-nilly going to grab every single thing in the Sephora Collection? There's some things that I can tell you I think are great and worth it. And then there's others that I personally feel like meh. So, 30% off is what you're going to get as your ultimate shopping guide here with the Sephora Collection. What are some things that stand out from there? What stands out to me as some of the absolute biggest deals in the Sephora Collection is going to be their lipsticks. I do love some of their lipsticks. I mean, and sometimes you can get these, they'll already be marked down in the Sephora line as low as like $5. And then you can get 30% off from there. And you're just like, what? So like I have literally gotten lipsticks on this sale for like less than $2 before. A lot of the colors get sold out because everybody else is saying $2 lipsticks. What? Okay. So, I will give you a heads up on that. They'll sell out in a lot of colors, but, they are, not bad lipsticks. Like, come on. Why do we need to pay so much for a lipstick? They have nice color. They feel pretty good on the lips. Like, are they my favorite lipsticks in the entire world? Not necessarily, but do you really need $20 and $30 lipsticks? Not always, right? So that would probably be my number one recommendation, is grab some of their lipsticks up. In addition, they have a couple of skincare items. I don't have them on me because I've emptied them already, but I'll mention their moisturizer is actually really good. I really love I think it's their prebiotics moisturizer. Fantastic one. So that one usually goes on sale. Other ones I do actually recommend grabbing would be the lip liners. Again, I've emptied those and used those up so much I don't have any on hand to show you, but any lip liners that go on sale are usually pretty good. I think is worth the crazy savings. I mean, again, I think on those, I snatched them up for like $2 as well in the past. And then things like some of their base products. Okay, I have some left over of their foundation, the Best Skin Ever. I think that's a lot of their foundation, like baseline. They've also got a concealer as well that I've done before. My review on these is, for the price, they're pretty good. So if you want a pretty decent foundation or concealer, I think that their concealer in this line and this foundation were decent and probably as good as any of the good drugstore brand ones that I recommend to people. Is it as good as my really ride or die favorites though? No. Like, I wouldn't just go to this and be like, oh my gosh, it's so good, it's just as good as these really high-end ones. Not necessarily, but I do think that it runs a pretty good race. Like, I think it gives some of them a good run for their money. So if you can grab them up in savings, I think that it is worth it. Another thing that I hear people rave about all the time with the Sephora brand is the Sephora brushes. Okay. Now I have more than this and I don't know where I put them. But here's a couple of them. I got like a whole brush set. I've heard so many people recommend, so many influencers as well as friends and family who recommend Sephora brushes. Like, they say that they're as good as a lot of the professional brushes out there, that they've held up. They're really durable. So I tried some finally and I just don't feel that I agree with them. I feel like the quality just still feels very cheap to me. And it might just be the packaging, like the handles just feel kind of plasticky and cheap, but they're not for me. I think that where everybody really loves them is maybe they're very durable and they've held up for a long time. And that's something I have not been able to test out very well for you because I've only had mine for like several months now, maybe. I think I got it on the last Sephora sale, maybe. I can't remember. But I don't feel like I've had them long enough to really test out truly like how they've held up. I'm not really a fan. If you really were going to ask me my recommendations, if it's worth grabbing some Sephora brushes on the sale, I would say no. But I'm very particular about my brushes, I will tell you that. So those were a few items that I just wanted to kind of call out and mention is taking a peek at the Sephora collection because that's definitely where you're going to find the most savings. And those were just a few of the actual products I have tried on the Sephora line. But I am kind of a bougie girl that I tend to stick with a lot of other brands that are favorites. So let's talk about some of those. Whoops, before we do that, let's talk about the advent calendars real quick. So first of all, let's mention all the Sephora favorites sets. There's a bunch of different sets out there that are specifically Sephora. You actually have the Advent Sephora Collection advent calendar, so to speak, and it's $50 out there. I would imagine that those are probably the 30% off ones too. So the 30% off discount applies to that, I'm pretty sure. Y'all correct me if I'm wrong on that. You've also got the Sephora Faves, which you've got the makeup must-haves. Then you've got like a couple of different lip ones. You've got the After Advent for only $35. So several different like Sephora curated advents and value sets to definitely check out. But then let's check out all these other advent calendars that are available at Sephora, where you're going to get the discount on it. You got L'Occitane, I know I already say it wrong. And I have had a whole discussion about that in my advent calendar discussion. But yeah, L'Occitane, that which we have talked about, is at Sephora. You've got the Paula's Choice. It's at Sephora. The Laneige. We haven't really discussed this one, I don't think, but Laneige is always one of my favorite sets to gift people because who doesn't want like lots of different fun spa-like, you know, lip gift sets. You've got Maison, I say this wrong too, Margiela, which I think will include like Replica, my absolute, one of my favorite fragrances right now. And so you've got that one. I've been wanting to go through that specifically, that advent calendar with you guys on my list of advent calendars. It is available through Sephora. You have the Jo Malone. We talked about Jo Malone in my advent calendar discussion. You have Juliet Has a Gun. We've talked about the Juliet Has a Gun quite a bit in a lot of our other videos or boxes and stuff because that fragrance shows up all the time. You have the Dr. Barbara Sturm. We did discuss that one too. It's at Sephora. We have the Augustine Bader. The Kiehl's Mini Advent is one we haven't discussed yet. And that Voluspa candles, we did discuss that one too. So all of these guys, you can go through Sephora for and get you a discount. All right. So if you're already looking at any of those that we've talked about previously, wait for this sale. Now, having said that, they might get snatched up and sell out really fast, but still. All right, guys. So let's go through. I really want to highlight some things, especially over the last year, that I would definitely recommend checking out. And if you've had your eye on it, I recommend it. That I've tried in the last year that maybe I didn't mention in that other video. And I might highlight a few too still from that video if I think about it. I may kind of go brand by brand here as opposed to like categories. So let's talk Natasha Denona for a moment. You're going to notice a few like luxury things here and there, themes from me, because I feel like Sephora is a lot of times your higher end brands. And Ulta still covers some of those too, but Ulta does carry a lot of other more drugstore and more affordable brands as well. I mean, you've got ColourPop there a lot. You've got NYX is there. You've got e.l.f. A lot of like drugstore lines at Ulta too that they don't offer at Sephora. So I feel like Sephora is kind of my place to get all the luxury stuff and snatch it up. So Natasha Denona. This is now my #1 concealer, guys. I love this concealer. It is the High Glam, and I did get it maybe on the sale actually last time. And I can tell you that, like, I've tried so many concealers out there, and this is one of our #1 most important products, especially for mature skin and as we're aging, is getting your concealer right. The concealer truly makes like all the difference. This has serum built into it, so it's like a skincare treatment under the eyes that are just so moisturizing, and they're going to keep it from getting so patchy. Truly like the best concealer I think I've ever tried. It has replaced a lot of my other ride or die concealers out there, but it still can give you a lot of great coverage and it holds up. And I actually rank this above NARS. I picked up NARS at the same time. This is my #1. So I definitely recommend this concealer all the way. Now, if you've been around my channel and you follow like my eyeshadow palette rankings videos and all of those, you're gonna know I'm a Natasha Denona girl. I pick up almost all her palettes. I did not grab the Roxy though, but we're gonna talk about that in a few minutes when we get to my wish list. But there are several palettes I have tried since the last video, since the spring. Y'all know that I love I Need a Nude, and I picked that as my #1 for like my #1 Sephora palette, okay, is the Natasha Denona I Need a Nude, which I will show you right here, and I've probably shown you guys a million times if you've been around here. But since then, I did do a whole video comparing the nude to the I Need a Warm. And no, this is the golden. Hold on. Let's back that up. I Need a Warm. Isn't that beautiful? And I think that I might have ranked Warm just the teensiest bit higher than Nude now. But I love both of these palettes so much. So I highly recommend them if you've had your eye on them. I also still absolutely love the golden palette that came out in the summer. All of these are amazing, but a lot of them are kind of, you'll notice very similar color stories. You're going to get a lot of neutrals and goldens and warmer tones in a lot of these. Not as great for my cool tone folks, but there's still some elements of cool tone, especially in the nude and even the golden, believe it or not. Several other palettes, of course, from her and some that I've gotten over the last year, but I'm thinking a couple of them are no longer available at Sephora. I think they were kind of like limited edition and you don't really get them anymore. And then there's a couple others I picked up, but they're probably not my favorites, so I'm not gonna necessarily mention them. These are definitely like my top 3. So if you want any Natasha Denona palettes, they're at Sephora. All right, let's talk YSL really quickly. So you guys know I've continued to recommend the Love Shine lip oils in just about every video. They are absolute favorites. I really love them, and they've got different kinds of the, like different versions of the Love Shine that kept coming out. You've got your Butter Balms, and I have all of the shades, and I did swatches for you on them. I've got a few in the just plain lip oils, and I've got a couple in the Candy Glaze ones too. So all of them are fabulous. I think that I like the Candy Glaze the best, maybe. Your Butter Balms, they're very buttery and they feel great, but they're tinted, so they're like pH adjusting to your lips specifically. And I'm not really always a huge pH adjusted person, to be honest. I like to know exactly what I'm getting and it be the same shade each time. So I kind of like the Candy Glaze ones better. And they feel just this very satin silky finish on the lips. But overall, like, I love all 3, and I have a lot in the collection, so I don't want to go too in depth, but definitely love those. I had already mentioned them back in the spring because they'd already been out, I think, back then, but I continue to really love those and recommend them. But since then, I have tried their Black Opium perfume, and you guys, and you've heard me talk about it several times. I've have several videos with this in it, but this has become a favorite perfume, and I never thought I would love it. I'm not a strong, heavy or leathery or like smoky like perfume lover, and it's not so much that this has those notes, but it's got notes of like it's got coffee and a touch of vanilla, and I think it was a floral maybe in there too. And it's just this perfect mix, but it's like, it's been one of my top 2 favorite scents for fall. Like I've been wearing this nonstop because it's the perfect scent that I want to wear for fall. I am absolutely in love with this fragrance. So I really, really recommend it now. And I've been recommending it like everywhere. Okay, then I also just recently snatched up all of the shades of the, I don't have them all here, but here's at least 4, all the shades of the new Make Me Blush liquid blush from YSL. Absolutely love these so much. Definitely recommend them, including the controversial lavender one, which I had put a little short out there talking about how I don't know why some people are upset about this when like there's other luxury brands like Dior and Chanel who has like really lavender light blushes too, but turns out there's a whole controversy behind it because of the fact that apparently they really marketed this as being universal, especially to deeper skin tones, and they're not. They look very ashy on deeper skin tones. So this is really only going to work for you folks who have very light skin tones. I liked how it looked on me in the liquid, but I definitely wouldn't tout it as universal for everyone. I think that some of my favorites are definitely in the more neutral universal tones. There was 44 and 37. I can't remember what that related to. I think my favorite of all for me was the like more really orangey corally one. They come off a lot more like natural. They're not like ultra bright and crazy, but yes, just gorgeous. Love these. And now YSL does have the new Make Me Blush powder version coming out, and I'm so excited about it. So if those get here in time during the sale, I will definitely be snatching them up. So they're in my wish list category, but I don't know if they'll be here in time because they haven't given us a date, I don't think. And then you guys, the primer, the YSL primer. This is the Touche Eclat Blur Primer. So I had gotten to try a sample in the Macy's Beauty Box, fell madly in love with it. And I decided it was my top primer, tied for first place with Lancome's La Base primer. I love them both. These are my favorite primers on the planet. Both I really highly recommend for mature skin. I guess if you don't want like the specks in there, you might want to go more with the Lancome. The specks don't really show up that much though, in my opinion. But I absolutely love this. And then I ended up getting gifted it by YSL itself. I was PR gifted this, but by far one of my favorite primers out there. Both of these primers, guys, Lancome and YSL, they feel like a silk pillowcase on your face. And it's like I can put it on with no makeup and you can watch, like you'll see half of my face. You will see the difference in my face. It'll look like this like silk canvas over on one side compared to the other. If I put it on like half the face, you'll see it. It's just incredible. So either one of these primers on the Sephora sale, you're gonna be in love. All right, and speaking of Lancome, let's talk about Lancome for a moment. Just about everything Lancome, you can't go wrong. I love Lancome. It's like, I feel like it's so underrated as far as people talking about the brand a lot. And when they drop something new, like there's not as much hype with everybody, but everything that they make is so solid. That's the best way to know how to describe it. I'm definitely a Lancome girl. And I've probably, if I sat here and made you a list of recommendations from Lancome, we'd be here forever because almost everything I use that are my base, like ride or die products, come from Lancome. But I will mention that they have a Renegade, however we say the brand, triple serum holiday set out there. Okay, so that is a great gift idea. Again, get a little bit of discounts as a set, and then you're going to get a Sephora discount overall on top of it. So highly recommend checking that out, and just about everything in Lancome. A lot of their mascaras are my ride or dies. A lot of their Idol eyeliner. I mean, I could show you all of them, but it would be a long video. Let's talk Patrick Ta for just a moment. I did just snatch up the contour. No, it's a bronzer palette. And I'm loving it. I'm wearing it today. So you can see like it's in my contour here. And I mean, I've got it all up here on my forehead and here. I applied the cream first and then followed up with powder. A lot of folks with his products will do it backwards. I was just kind of doing the makeup artist way where I go cream and then set it with powder. The cream is definitely a lot more pigmented than the powder is, but I really like this a lot, and I got it actually in the Allure Holiday Best of Beauty box, but it is definitely out there at Sephora to grab. And we're going to mention a couple of his new products that are out on the market right now that are at Sephora, but they're going to be in my wish list section. All right, forever a basic, like amazing staple that I love so much is the Tarte Maracuja lip balms. These are absolute favorites of all time. And I wanted to kind of highlight them that, yes, you can always snatch these up, but what Sephora does have going on is several different lip sets of these. They've got like a holiday lip one, and they've got like 2 or 3 different like lip sets. So they would be amazing to snatch up because they're already kind of discounted as a group in a gift. But then if you get the Sephora discount on top of that, you're winning. So I definitely wanted to mention these as so recommend them. Like I may stock up on like 30 of these. I love them so, so much. This one that I have a few samples, and then this one is the rose, I think, one of my favorite shades. But yeah, absolutely love the Tarte Maracuja balms. They are like ride or dies. All right, let's talk Dior for a moment. Now, I am a big Dior girl too. I love Dior of like the luxury brands. That's my favorite, or one of my favorites. And so, okay, I did just recently bring a few new items, but I don't think they're at Sephora yet, though they do have a couple that just arrived that we'll talk about in my wish list category. But the things that I will highlight that I tried kind of this year that I am in love with, one is the Highlight Glow, what is it called? Forever Glow Maximizer. These are their like liquid highlights, and they just, I really, really, really recommend these, especially for the more mature skin folks like me, because when you blend this into like your blush and even meld it into your bronzer, it just gives the most gorgeous natural glow. And so it's not like this crazy highlight. It's like the perfect like baked glow into all of it to just morph together so much better. And so this is just like my favorite liquid highlight on the planet. It is so gorgeous. I have mine in the shade Nude because that was the newest shade that had come out. But there's several different ones, and they have like the pink one, you know, that I'm very interested in too. But I really, the people went gaga over these, and there is a reason. So definitely recommend these. And then I so highly recommend also the Forever Glow Star Filter, one of my favorites for like kind of a primer, like glowing base. Just, it's amazing. This is a great like no makeup, you know, base, which I rarely do for myself, but I use this more as like a primer or just even over my foundation, just for extra like highlighty glow. Love this. It's amazing. Then I also wanted to bring up Dior because they have some brand new on the market holiday gift sets out there that you might want to look at if you're thinking of gift ideas. They are fragrance samples, not samples, fragrance gift packages, and they're brand new. So take a peek at these. One is their Miss Dior line, which I really, of all their, I love some of the Dior fragrance. There's a few that kind of, I don't want to offend anybody, but sometimes they scream a little bit old lady to me. But I really do love the Miss Dior. And so they've got one that's the whole like set there. And then they've also got a J'adore. I really like the J'adore too, which I've got like the samples and everything, but they've got a full size gift sets out there. And then they also have Savage or Sauvage, however you say it, the cologne for men. And I love that one. We'll just put it that way. So great gift set for your man. So those are some great ideas too to snatch up for holiday ideas. Okay, now Dior does not have their full like holiday line out yet at Sephora. However, these are available, and those are the liquid lips, the sequin ones. I loved these guys because remember, they have little sparkles in them, little sequins in them. They're very, very, very drying though. So I'm kind of have a hate-love relationship with these. I highly recommend them for like the fun sparkle, and this shade was just killer. It's so good. It was amazing. You can check out my Dior holiday video if you want to see how it looked on my lips. Definitely has like the little holiday sparkles in there, the perfect shades, and I love like the packaging, but it's so drying that you definitely would probably want to do it with, combined with a gloss on top. like a clear gloss that won't take away from the sparkles and the sequins in it. So I don't recommend it as far as how it feels on the lips, but I definitely recommend it for how it looks on the lips, if that makes sense. A couple more things that really stand out to me from this last year, and then I promise we'll move on and we're going to cover my wish list quickly. But one of the things I've gotten to try was this It Cosmetics Sun Blush. It's basically like, it's like a bronzer and blush in one, just because of the shades of them. They're very flattering. You could like kind of bronze with it or do blush with it. I tend to use it more for blush. And I got a couple different shades. I was gifted this in PR, just to give you that disclaimer, and it's how I get to try a lot of things. But oh my gosh, this stuff is amazing. It is built in with like hyaluronic acid in it. So another one that I really recommend, and for mature skin, again, you know, I'm 46, so I'm recommending to you guys a lot of my mature skin picks and things that really do work with other folks with similar skin types to me. But love this blush so much. Definitely recommend checking it out on the sale. And more that I got also in PR, I did get gifted some more all-nighter spray. You know, this one's just the ride or die that I've done for years. The tried and true Urban Decay all-nighter. Probably one of the most recommended for setting sprays. But I was able to try out the one that's the watermelon infused hyaluronic acid built in. I love this one more. It's just, it's not like too dewy, but it does give more of a dewy finish. And I just felt like my face looked so much better and fresher at the end of the day than even my tried and true all-nighter. And I mention these because they do have a little trio set for the holidays that's limited edition that you could grab if you wanted to try all three of their takes on the all-nighter setting spray. It's your chance to grab it. And another favorite in PR from Urban Decay also is the Face Bond. And this came out probably before the last Sephora sale, but I finally got to try it in PR and I was blown away. It is like 3-in-1 on this one, I think. It was supposed to be, is it primer and foundation too? But then it's also like self-setting. So like a setting powder built into it also. It is such a unique, neat concept, and I ended up, like, this stuff is amazing. It's so full coverage, lasts so long. It is very blendable, but then self-setting too. It is great. I definitely recommend it. It definitely has been a hit for me. And then Lawless is probably one of those like lip brands I just always recommend in general, one of my ride or dies too. I do have the Lawless Forget the Filler Plumper that's in my Pro Makeup kit. But I recently just got the lip balm, Forget the Filler balm, and the lip mask in the Rachel Zoe box, not Zoe, I'm learning. This is the lip mask. And so definitely recommend Lawless. Probably like my #1 for lips, to be honest with you. Yeah, love these products. And I mention them because there's a couple of brand new shades from Lawless that just dropped at Sephora too. So if you're interested in seeing those shades, you can grab it on the sale with a discount. Okay, I can keep going and going and going of like favorite products and stuff. The list goes on. Let's move on to my wish list now. So for me, what was going to be on my wish list is not usually I use the Ulta sale kind of more for like staples because they tend to have a lot more of like your classics and stuff on that sale. You only have certain things that go on sale, and they're ones that have been around for a while and are not like brand new drops or something. And they'll have them so discounted for like 50% that I will grab things that I know are my favorites that I use and need. I use those more, that sale more as my basics. The Sephora sale, I tend to use more as my, here's my new stuff I want to try. And the things that like I've had my eye on and didn't pick up, you know, keep in mind, I buy a lot because, you know, I am a blogger and a makeup artist. And so you know, the exciting stuff for me is the new release things that, you know, I've been wanting to grab and I haven't to review. So this is my chance to do it. So there's new things on the market right now that I haven't picked up yet. And so I'm going to be mulling it over and putting these in my cart. And that includes the Dior Backstage collection that we talked about that's more for the holidays. So one was this wintry, like cool toned eyeshadow palette that looked really pretty. And then they've also got the face glow palette that just dropped at Sephora now. So both are now available there. Got my eye on both of those. They were for the holiday. We talked about it in the spoilers. We've also got Huda Beauty's brand new Icy Nude palette. And of course, this is her last big palette ever. I don't understand why. Like what in the world possessed her to just decide to stop making eyeshadow palettes or big ones? What? I'm very upset about it. I wasn't as interested at first until I started seeing some swatches and the icy colors and everybody's starting to pick it up, and now I want it. And I love Huda Beauty palettes. So this is on my list, and of course it's great for the wintry holiday vibes. But I had also been wanting to try her Easy Blur foundation and primer. I was very curious about it. I think it's kind of had some mixed reviews, some little bit of controversy out there too with some influencers. I don't know, but I really want to try it for myself. So a lot of her stuff is on my list. And of course, the Natasha Denona Roxa palette that everybody's talking about. And I normally always pick up her palettes and collect them. I think it just kind of fell at a time when I was spending so much on a bunch of other things that I really stopped and asked myself, do I truly want it, or is it just because it's Natasha Denona has a new palette? And at first I was not drawn to this palette. I know a lot of people have wanted the purples and are very excited for this, and it has a lot more color than a lot of what she's come out with lately. But I'm not really a color palette girl as much. I'm a very soft pinks, you know, pretty pinks, and I love purples too, but not like lots of bright 80s pinks and purple. This screams 80s purple to me. So it didn't really draw to me until I started seeing some of her swatches on the lighter colors. Like there's some lighter pinks and rose toned, more subtle colors in there that look really pretty. So I'm curious about it and I want to play with it, but it doesn't scream to me. Like I'd honestly probably prefer the Huda Beauty Icy Nudes over this one. So, but it's still going to be on my list because of the fact that it's Natasha Denona and I'm just curious to play with it, you know. And then there's also Makeup by Mario's new palette, the Ethereal Eyes, however you call it, but this one's more his cool tone version now. You've got a few more like deeper blues mixed in there. And to be honest with you, it looks pretty, but what I have wanted for a very long time is his original Ethereal Eyes. So honestly, if I pick up one, it might just be the original one. So both of these are on my list, but I have wanted that ethereal ones for a long time. It is so beautiful. I see it so much in like bridal makeup. A lot of the pro makeup artists have this one and it is gorgeous. And I'm honestly more interested in that one, I think. I know it's probably the more boring one to everybody else, but it is the beautiful one to me. And then of course, as I mentioned, I definitely have my eye on the YSL new Make Me Blush powder blushes that are coming out. Cannot wait. So if they do drop at Sephora during the sale, I'm probably going to grab them, but they may not drop during that time. And then the last couple of items that I've been really wanting, I've been curious about the Patrick Ta foundation. I've heard mixed reviews on that one too, and I feel like most people feel like it's very overpriced, but I'm still curious about it. But what I really want to check out are these duo eyeshadow palettes, and they are now at Sephora, guys. They are there. I just don't know what shade I want. I want them all. But they are really intriguing to me. Very fascinating. I really have my eye on them. I might have to do it. So those are all items that are on Cher's wish list. It's pretty much all the latest new, you know, makeup that's come out. You know, I have like my ride or dies and the things that are like my classic old things, but I'm fairly well stocked up on a lot of my needs right now. So I don't think I'm going to be getting a lot of just basics. I think it's going to be all like this new, exciting, latest makeups that I'm interested in. So that is everything for today. It's still a very long video, but I wanted to kind of present everything to you, all things Sephora and the sale and my take on it. And I hope this was helpful for you. So many more products I could recommend, but those were just things that stood out to me. Again, I think this is just the great sale for your holiday shopping, for the beauty lovers, great gift ideas. So take advantage of it, guys. Let me know what you're picking up and what's in your cart. And hopefully you're excited about November 1st on its way. If you want to see what all I pick up, you'll want to stick around. I'll probably bring you a haul when that time comes. And also if you want more helpful tips on sales like this one, I try to cover a lot of the different beauty sales especially, and some other lines too. hauls, reviews on a lot of these products. And like I said, we cover a lot of beauty boxes here too. And I do some shopping vlogs. You never know, I might hit the store in person and bring you along. So you'll want to stick around for all of that. Pop the subscribe, turn the notification bells on, and I'll catch you guys all in the next one. Bye.